Hey there everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is John. I am Orphan Car Garage. I'm located in the state of Massachusetts in the little town of Abington. We're about 30 minutes or so south of Boston. Some really cool rides to profile for you recently. This car in front of me is no exception. It is in fact an orphan car, orphan brand vehicle. It's a Pontiac from the year 1965, and what we're actually looking at here in front of us is a Pontiac Tempest two-door sport coupe. They called this a coupe even though it's really a two-door sedan. You could also get in 1965 a true two-door coupe without the pillars. But obviously we have a pillared two-door coupe. I call it a sedan. Pontiac called it a coupe. In front of us here today, this car has a really cool story. Up until 2022, this car only had one family owner. All documented. We've got the original Protecto plate and owner's manual in the glove box. Really cool story behind this car. Gentleman purchased this car new in 1964 as a 1965 model when he had just gotten his driver's license, believe it or not. He brought his older uncle with him to the dealership, and they handpicked this two-door sedan Tempest from 1965. He drove it home. Started a family, married the girl he was dating at the time. That's why he picked the vehicle with the bench seat. And kept the car for a very long time. In fact, used it as his daily transportation all the way up until 1978 when he purchased a Firebird. Interestingly enough, the Firebird that he purchased in 1978 was the same color as this Tempest. This is a burgundy color, a sort of a dark burgundy color car, and this is the original color of this car according to the data plate under the hood, which there is a picture of on my website, orphancargarage.com. So the original owner's son always had a love for this car. His father put the car away, as I said, in 1978 with a future plan of restoring the vehicle, and thanks to his son's persistence, the car was finally pulled out to be restored in or around 2008, I believe. By that point, the son had moved to Huntington Beach, California. The son decided to take on the project of restoring his father's beloved Tempest, had the car shipped to his home in Huntington Beach, California, and started the restoration process out there. The engine was removed, the transmission was removed, and both were completely rebuilt. We'll get to that really cool engine here in a minute. And the full mechanics of the car had been all gone through. At that point, the owner's son decided to sell his business that he owned in California and move to Costa Rica, which was a dream of his to do, but obviously the Pontiac couldn't go with him, so the car then went back to Connecticut, closer to Dad, the original owner, and the body work and interior restoration was performed there. So this was sort of a long process. It started around 2008 and didn't get completed until much later. I believe the car was bodywork and paint was performed right around 2017 or so, if my memory serves me correct. Nicely done. The car is not without some body filler. Obviously, this car was used as regular transportation in the state of Connecticut from 1965 to 1978. So it did have some battle scars from that being done, and there is some evidence of some body filler in the restoration at the bottom of each quarter panel, the bottom of each door, and the bottom of each front fender, but it's very nicely done. This is a nice driver quality restoration. I'm not going to try to present this car as a blue ribbon show winner, but it's a very high quality job for a car that can just be driven. Turn the key and drive it. It looks fantastic. Now, you're going to notice, you Pontiac guys out there, that this car has some GTO and Le Mans styling cues mixed in the restoration. It's absolutely correct. The gentleman's father in the 1980s procured this grill, which I believe is a Le Mans grill. The Le Mans was based on the same platform as this Tempest. It was just a step up from the Tempest. It was a used grill that he found in a junkyard, and he had plans of putting this in the car at its restoration, and that's what happened. So I believe that's a grill from a Le Mans. That's not the original Tempest grill. Obviously, you see that a GTO hood was installed on the vehicle with that really cool center scoop. Obviously, some liberties were taken on this, but very tastefully done. You notice a lot of the trim is missing, the Tempest trim, and also the Tempest nameplates, I believe, that would have been back here on each quarter panel, but nicely hidden. Holes were filled. Could be brought back if you wanted to, but he wanted to give the car, there's taillights. The taillights as well. I don't believe those taillights are Tempest. I believe those are Le Mans or GTO or both. But they go right into the same space because all of those cars, the Tempest, Le Mans, and GTO, are all based on the same car. This is a second generation Tempest. The first generation, of course, was a much different car. It was a unibody car, sort of Corvair-ish style vehicle. The base car had a trophy 4-cylinder in it with that rope drive shaft to the transmission mounted in the back. In 1964, when this model was introduced, all that was gone. This is a frame-on Tempest, front engine, front transmission, rear-wheel drive vehicle, more traditional. So as you can see, it has a GTO-esque look to it without trying to be a GTO. The wheels are really cool. Replacements with some really nice BFG radial TAs all the way around. Wheels are in very good condition. As I mentioned, the paint is very, very nicely done. A very good job was done by the body shop in Connecticut. There is a slight scratch here. And then down here, there's a couple little scratches there. The car's been driven a little bit since its restoration. Sadly, soon after it was completed, the original owner, the gentleman's dad, passed away. That's when it went to its second owner around 2022. So its original owner, original family, kept this car from 1965 to 2022, which is quite amazing. Interior of this car is outstanding. Replacement seat covers from OPGI, as well as the door panels. You'll see they're very nicely done. The carpeting is all brand new at the restoration. These seat covers are outstanding. I was told by somebody that these are more of a GTO style seat cover. The standard Tempest would have had a different design in them. Very possible, I'm not going to say otherwise, but certainly fits the vehicle nicely. This is the original color interior. The original kick panels are still in place there, as you see, with some minor wear. Headliner presumably has been replaced. It's just too nice to be original, although those sun visors are obviously original. The car did come equipped from the factory with front seat belts, not rear seat belts, an automatic transmission, and an AM radio, which is now a custom auto sound radio, which fits right into the same opening. Really nice back seat. Everything nicely done during its long restoration. It's all basically been done for you. Nothing is left to be done. While I'm thinking of it, the car was written up in the Pontiac Club Registry newsletter back in June of 2020. And it talks about the great story of the car, how the gentleman bought it, when he bought it, the son describing the restoration of the car. This kind of is a chronological story behind everything that was done to the car over the years. There's some pictures of him going to his prom, picture of his mom with the car back when it was sort of new. Really cool story. It mentions in here that not too many of them have survived, which I believe. A lot of these cars have been completely turned into GTOs or just didn't survive at all. Really cool floor mats here. It's amazing this car did survive, considering it spent so many years in Connecticut. I mean, that is a state that gets a lot of snow in the wintertime. We got some dual exhausts that give the car a real burble. Custom emblem here. Decent trim. There's no rust or bubbling around any of the trim. Again, the paint is really nice. I'm going to say it's an 8.5 out of 10. Nice glass. The original steering wheel, I read in that article, was just too cracked to be restored. So it was replaced with this aftermarket wooden wheel. We've got 88,272 miles on the odometer, and according to our clean Massachusetts title, that is original mileage. We won't guarantee that. We don't have documentation of that, but it's very possible that it is original mileage. Here's your original glove box material with a letter from Pontiac to the original owner. That really cool Protecto plate that I told you about early on, showing the original owner's name. This is the plate you would bring to the dealership when you needed warranty work done. And his original owner's mail. It's all still there. Very cool. I love a car with a story. Let me fire it up for you and show you the really cool engine this car has. Ignition switch is over here on the left side of the instrument panel, which I find really fun. Listen to that roar. Again, you've got some original kick panels that have some wear, but other than that, this interior is really, really nice. There is a crack here on the original padded dash and also there. So the dashboard in this car is all original, but these beautiful seat covers, door panels, and carpeting. It's a really nice car to get in and drive. Extremely turnkey. A lot of pictures of this on my website, orphancargarage.com. Bear with me here, this is always fun. You ready for this? Voila! A whopping 215 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine under the hood. That is the original engine that came with this car, and it's still there. Fully rebuilt in 2008 or so. Obviously, it runs like a top. No power steering, no power brakes, and a single cavity master cylinder. Just the way they built it. 6-cylinder engine. I think this put out about 140 horsepower when it was new. You never see them with a 6-cylinder. If they were built that way, they've been removed. Chances are in the future it may be removed in this car too. That's up to the next owner's preference, but if it were me, I'd leave it alone. I love that it's got the 6. This is pre-overhead valve 6. The overhead valve, overhead cam, excuse me, engine didn't come out until the following year, 1966, I believe. This is a 65. That 215 cubic inch straight 6 is very similar to the 230 straight 6 that Chevrolet used around the same time. As you can see, it sounds fantastic. From back here, you'd never know it was a 6. A little bit of a surprise. A pleasant surprise to some. A huge disappointment to others, I understand. I like them when they're a little strange, a little bit different, a little bit funky. I love that it has a 6-cylinder in it. Nobody saved these cars. I'm so glad the original owner had the foresight to do that. Just a real pretty car, very turnkey. Live in a warmer climate, you could drive this car every day. Just keep it out of the bad weather. It will last you a lifetime. Everything's been done. Check out my website, orphancargarage.com, for a full gallery of photos, the trunk, the undercarriage, all nice, not perfect, but nice. Give me a call, 508-954-8090. Price on this Tempest, $17,900. $17,900. Orphan Car Garage pricing. Like us on Facebook, find me here. Like me here on YouTube, find us on Facebook. Give me a call. Until the next one, I appreciate all the support. Thank you.